Hi, my name is Dave Carfagno. I am a physician, sports med, internal medicine here at Scottsdale Sports Medicine. I've been asked by one of my very good friends, Dave Brown, who is one of the coaches for mountain biking at Brophy Prep, which is my alma mater, 1985. To give you a little bit of background, he wanted me to talk about sports nutrition and hydration around events. So in the past, I've been in charge as medical director with Ironman Arizona for about 11 years, and also with North America. I would consult and teach doctors how to set up all the medical operations and all the events in the North America. And lately, the last 11 years, I've been with Rock and Roll Arizona as well as a regional director. I also too race myself with Team USA in triathlons, aquathons, duathlons. So I run and compete with my athletes, also do manage the medical side. So I'm going to give you a short and sweet version of what to do during, before, and after your races and a variety of different nutritional intervention. So think of it sort of like a kind of a telltale type of cheat sheet that you can use. And we have this. If you have more information, you can certainly come in and consult with me and my whole medical team. We have trainers, physiologists, nutritionists. We do lots of different types of testing. But in general, this is a common, I guess to say, equation algorithm that we use with athletes. A lot of this is used in the endurance medicine. So in general, an athlete wants to consume about 45 calories per kilogram of fat-free mass. So example, a 70 kilogram, which is about 150 pound individual, of fat-free mass would ingest about 3,150 calories per day. So one of the things we do like to see is keeping, especially an athlete, they want to maintain their calories, but they also want to not excess too much, or they may gain some weight, unnecessary weight, and also they don't want to eat enough not enough, because then we'll start seeing issues like fatigue and that kind of stuff. So carbohydrates in around exercise, like I said, it's very important that an athlete ingests carbohydrates in around exercise, because your muscles need that stored carbohydrate called glycogen. Right? And we see that not only depleted with exercise and training, but also with injuries. So a light kind of workout, 3 to 5 grams per kilogram per day, moderate 5 to 7, and intense 6 to 12 grams per kilogram per day. So if they're really training a lot, basically in this moderate to intense time, you're going 1 hour, maybe 2 hours a day, maybe 2-3+ hours a day. And this will undulate around your training schedule during the weekends. Most of us in the Ironman and the marathon communities, and mountain biking as well, will have short interval, high intensity interval training during the week, right? You got school, maybe you have work. During weekends, you do your volume work, lower intensities type stuff. So you may want to apply and prescribe this differently. Before an exercise, and 1 to 4 grams per kilogram of carbohydrate. What are some good carbohydrates? Typically we like anything like, say, breakfast, wheat toast, fruits, peanut butter, that kind of stuff. You can also do electrolyte drinks in and around. So the one thing about the pre-exercise meal I like to do is I like to transition from solids to liquids. All right, so when you get closer to your exercise or your event or your training, I typically use the 4-3-2-1 rule. So around 4 to 3, 2 hours before, you're going to start ingesting carbohydrate, like we mentioned. Some things you may do is start calculating, and again, we can help you with that. But before an event, you want to start adding up those grams, and so you can do that by looking at the label. We use an app in our institute called MyFitnessPal. There's lots of different measurements and applications. During your exercise, 30 to 60 grams per hour. You look at some of the elite cyclists and our Ironman folks, they're around 60 grams an hour. What is that? You're talking about maybe an electrolyte drink, the goos, the gels, even some of the swish and spit type of methods are also beneficial. So on your bike, all right, or on your run, but on your bike, you may want to have 2 different types of hydration. One may be pure water. You might even need some sodium if you're a heavy sweater, which is another talk. And you might want some one that's heavy glycogen. So that'll really help offset and keep you out of our medical tents. Are the 3 different components of fluids: is volume, water, sodium, and glycogen. After the event, so after exercise, the event's done, your race is done. If it's less than an hour, the other thing I always tell folks, you can probably get away with just water. If it's more than that, then you're probably going to want some of those other constituents of repletion we talked about. 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram body weight, 30 minutes after. 30 minutes, why? We like that 30-minute rule because it starts to replete and starts to help regenerate the glycogen in the muscle. We do the same thing with protein. Protein, as we'll talk about, there's a 3-to-1 ratio that you want after. So again, you can do liquids like a ready to drink or a recovery drink, recovery with protein, with carbohydrate. You can mix in there with your smoothie or you can have them ready. Again, fruits are a great source. Bagels, bananas, and that kind of stuff too are also very beneficial within reason. You just have to do a calculation with that. Protein, again, exercise, depends on your sport. In general, 1.4 to 2 grams per kilogram body weight. Strength, powerlifting is going to be higher up into that region. If you're more endurance or just a general athlete, you may want to go between 0.8 to 1.2 and then even higher than that. Depends on your needs. Many athletes now these days are kind of a hybrid. So, but this is a nice kind of range you want to shoot for. Before your endurance events, 0.25 grams per kilogram body weight for greater than an hour of exercise. Like I said before, you can add that. So if it's breakfast, you're going to do hard-boiled eggs. You may have lean meat turkey sausage. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, which we see a lot of those types of athletes too, you're going to do some more beans, nuts, and seeds. During the exercise, protein-wise, 0.25 grams per kilogram body weight. What we're looking for there on the equation, again, a lot of it is from Gatorade Sports Science. A lot of it is to help offset that muscle injury and muscle recovery. And you can add that or find that in some of your hydration drinks. Again, post-exercise, very much like the carbohydrate exercise. Again, it's about a 3-to-1 ratio, 0.25 to 0.3 grams per kilogram within 30 minutes. Again, one of the things, it depends on your palatability and what you like to do. You can do a recovery drink. Old chocolate milk came back as pretty popular. It's got protein, it's got carbohydrates, it's got volume. Peanut butter or banana or bagel and orange slices are also all beneficial for all these. Now fluid's a big question we get a lot. I see a lot in the medical tents. I'll see a lot of folks that come in, they're dehydrated, they may be lightheaded, cramping. I can tell you many years in my medical tent experience, they've had coaches and they're nutritionists and folks are coming in, all they drank was water the whole course. And of course they're having some of the side effects from that. So it's important, again, before your exercise, at least 2 to 4 hours, 5 to 10 mLs per kg. It's going to average depends on your sweat rate, depends on your necessary needs, which we can calculate with you. But you're talking about anywhere to 32 ounces of fluid. Again, one of the things we do is try to prep the body, give it the volume it's going to need so that it's going to expel that in a sweating fashion to keep you cool. And that's the purpose of that reason. So you may need to play around with that. And so the big part of this is on your training rides is to train with your nutrition. All right, you may need to do some experimenting. You may need to add more, you may need to, or subtract a little bit, but that's a real key part. Again, during your fluids, 0.3 to 2.4 liters an hour. It may vary again based on your body size and your sweat rate. One thing we can do with your sweat rate, we always do the old school method is weigh yourself before and weigh yourself after a session, and about 16 to 20 ounces of fluid per pound body weight is a really nice kind of approximation. After you've done your training or your race, 1.25 to 1.3 liters for every 1 pound body loss. Again, it's similar to what we just talked about that with the fluid. Be prepared with that. Again, the purpose of hydration nutrition, if you talk to most sports docs and sports nutritionists, is to get your body ready and recovered for the next event. And obviously a lot of the folks that we see are, business people as well as students. So you have to have that cognitive sharpness. So we're doing that not just for the muscle and the body, but also for the brain power. Lastly, micronutrients, vitamin D. What's recommended is about 1,500 to 5,000 units. You get that checked on your blood work. We check that on most of our athletes not just for the deficiency, but there's some benefit for performance enhancement. So we do check some of that. Calcium, 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams a day, depending upon your age, in divided dosages. If you're able to carry dairy, portobello mushrooms are another source, but those are also recommended. Depends on your different age groups. Iron, 8 milligrams a day for men and 18 milligrams a day for women. Again, there's an issue. We do see quite a bit of iron deficiency anemia in both sexes, mostly women. So it's a history that we have to take. Vitamin C helps the absorption rate, so we like to take it with that. So hopefully it helps you out. It's a little quick and dirty algorithm for sports nutrition. If you have any questions, we'd love to be part of your treatment team.